listening to Wavelength Radio from Cool Wave Pictures. Wavelength Radio presents Happy Hour with Cameron Cooper.
Come together right now over me.
All right, you're listening to Happy Hour with Cameron Cooper, brought to you by Wavelength Radio.
By Cool Wave Pictures?
By Cool Wave Pictures. All right, we were just bringing back the topic of payday loans. What a pain in the ass. If you poor people like myself have experienced this, and I have experienced it firsthand a few times, it is a vicious cycle you can never get out of. And what ultimately ends up happening is you don't pay them back. And I'm assuming, I guess, it goes down in your credit. I'm not really sure. But here is the gist of this whole scene. And you see them pop up, not just in this area here in Phoenix, Arizona, in every neighborhood, especially the lower class, and I don't mean that derogatory, but the lower class, lower income neighborhoods. They pop up on every freaking corner. I mean, you can have 3 of them within a 2-minute walking area. And you go in there, you bring your paycheck stub, you bring a check from your bank account, and you can borrow up to $500. And you got to pay it back whatever your payday is. So if you get paid every week or if it's every 2 weeks, then that's the day you pay them back. It's some outrageous amount of interest percentage. I believe maybe as much as 25%. And if you're going 25% on something, I mean, short of buying a car and you've got poor credit and you're buying a car, I guess that could be loan sharking too. But this is a little bit different because it's quick and easy. And what hopefully is what was supposed to be a short-term contract is something that turns into a long-term situation. And like you see the guys on Law and Order, and the guy is going to pay the bookie or going to pay the loan shark back, and I'll get you your money on Tuesday. No, you need it tomorrow, or else. You know, it's sort of like that. And they mean business, and they're not breaking kneecaps or anything. But, you know, they're damaging you. I don't think they are, but maybe some of them are. They mean business. And I think my particular scenario is you go in, you borrow the $500, and obviously you were hurting like hell before you walked through those doors to borrow the money. And maybe you only needed $250, but they say, well, we can loan you $500. You say, okay. So it's like, well, it started off as $250, now it's $500. And once you got the money in your hand, it's like, oh, okay, oh, happy go, let's go spend it. All right, now you got to pay it back. Well, number one, you were in dire straits before you walked through those doors, or you wouldn't have walked through those doors. All right? So you were already in the deficit. You already did not have the money. Bottom line, you didn't have the money. I don't get paid for a week. I don't get paid for 2 weeks, whatever the length may be, but you don't have the money. And so you go and you borrow $500, and then you live on that, or you take care of some obligation, and 2 weeks passes by, and you get your money from your check, your job, what have you, and now you're obligated to go pay them back the money. Well, you've already spent that money, and you owe them what you owe, plus you owe everybody else that you owe. So it's like there's never enough money. Bottom line is, if you can't borrow some money on some really legitimate, time-saving situation, whereas, hey, good friend, can you loan me $250? I'll pay you back in 3 weeks, a month, something that's reasonable, where you can take care of your living expenses, your obligations, and you pay them back, and it's not something that you have consequence on. With these situations with payday loans, and let me say that again, payday loans. They like to say that, payday loans. All right, you're going to end up in a situation like I did, where, okay, I'll extend it. I'll pay it down. Let me give you $100 now, and then you take out another payday loan, and for a little bit less than what you've just paid them, plus the interest, or you just extend it again. So you owe them $500, and they say, okay, well, it's $500 plus the $100 or $120 that we charge you. So now you give them $600 or $620, and then they give you another, not $500 again, but they give you the $500 again on credit that you already borrowed, that you've already spent, that you don't have. So now you've just paid them $110 or $120, and you still owe the same exact amount that you owed before. So you've not gained any ground. You've just spent $110 or $120 that could have paid toward the $500 that you borrowed, but it didn't. It paid the fee that they charged you to loan you the money. So I feel like I'm beating a dead horse to death. It's a horrible situation. And then I found out in one time, I made the loan, and I extended it out a few times, and it got crazy, and then I paid them off. And after I paid them off, I went into the office. I walked in, I gave them the money, and I paid it off. Well, at the same time, they're charging my bank account, or they're cashing the check that I gave them. You got to leave them a check, right, for the amount. They charged my account. So I paid them twice. So then I got overdraft fees and stuff because my account went into the deficit, and got overdraft fees because I was way overspent. And they said, I'm sorry. They didn't pay for my overdraft fees, which is about $33 for each situation. So you could do a $1.25 transaction, but if you're overdrafting, it's $33 for that one overdraft of $1.35. And then you do another transaction, if you use your debit card like I do. I'm going to buy this pack of gum, it's 25 cents. Okay, there's another $33 for that 25-cent pack of gum you just bought. And then you're going to go buy a few other items at the grocery store, that's $21.75, plus $35 or $33 overdraft fee. All these things, you end up with 10 $33 overdraft fees, and then if you don't pay them back, then they start charging you, like, I don't know how much it is, $5 a day or something. It explodes, and it goes to a crazy level of indebtedness, if that's such a word. And it all started because I was already in debt. So now I've already gotten myself in debt. I've gone to the payday loan place. I've gotten myself more in debt. And then I'm overdrafted because they double dipped into my account. And now I'm even more in debt.
So let me ask you something. Why do you think they keep popping up like this? I mean, is it because people are stupid and go to them? I mean, they wouldn't be on every corner if nobody went to them. Am I right?
No, you're right. People do go to them. They're on every corner, and they target an audience. The audience is low income, and bottom line is, guys, I mean, gas prices are off the charts, and things are expensive. If you don't, a pack of cigarettes is $5 or $6. Fill up your tank of gas in a little car, you're probably looking at $30, $40. In a big car, you may be looking at $80. I mean, it's off the charts. And forget about trying to buy a house unless you're already invested in some real estate and connected and have some good credit. You're not going to buy a house. You'd be lucky if you could buy a condo. Take a look at the trailer park. That's what you're going to buy. You know, that thing propped up on 4 freaking wheels, that's what you're buying, my friend. That's the economy that we've got right now. And that not going political, that's what this Bush administration has put us in. All right? In the Clinton years, you could buy something. In the Clinton years, your paycheck went further. And I'm not going pro-Democrat, pro-Republican. I'm just saying that for whatever reason, could it be the war, could it be the terrorist attacks, could it be all these things? I'm just saying, I don't know. Bush administration. Bush administration has been a terrible years. 8 years of this Bush administration. And unless you're on the upper crust and have minded your P's and Q's, and God forbid you should have a credit card and have a lot of credit card debt. Thank God I've never done that. But that's off the charts for people. Gets people into foreclosures on their houses and filing bankruptcies. It's a terrible situation. Our country's in a terrible situation. It has been for a number of years. And I think now we're really seeing it. And hopefully things are going to turn around. And I hope that the new administration, be it Republican, be it Democrat, it will be able to turn things around. And I'm not blaming it on Bush and his people under him. I'm just saying it is happening and has happened under Bush administration. That's all I'm saying. This is not a political show. This is Happy Hour with Cameron Cooper. We like to stay a little bit light, but I do go deep a little bit here and there. But I'm not going to talk about Mark Nadeau anymore unless you guys want to call in and talk about it. Anyway, getting back to our content here about payday loans, Charles. Can you give me some feedback on payday loans? What do you think about these con artists, these street corner hustlers, and what do you call them, loan sharks?
Well, when the payday loans were still coming out, when they were first coming out, I was a spendaholic. I had to go to stores and buy things, and I was short on cash. I wanted this new $300 item at like Fry's Electronics. So what I would do is go to 4 different payday loan places.
Oh, 4.
I went to 4 of them in one night. This was back before I think they did. I don't even think they still do credit checks, but they might call a database for payday loans now.
Right.
But
I think they're linked. Yeah.
They are linked now, right?
I think they are, so that
Okay.
you can't go from one to another, one after another,
right,
and do that. But before they were not. You're right.
Yeah, they were not linked. So I would go to one company, and then I would go to the next company, and they would ask me, do you have any other outstanding payday loans? And I would lie and put no. And so I probably had at least $1,500 in payday loans. And the point you brought up was, let's say you only wanted a $250 payday loan, and they try to upsell you on a $500 payday loan. That should be illegal. You only need $250, but if they're going to offer you $250 more dollars, you're going to say yes. I mean, that's just human nature. But back to my subject, I would never pay him back.
Well, I think that's an interesting concept on this, is that I don't know. Sure, I'm sure they can put it on your credit. If I recall, recently I think I saw a mark on my credit from one of these establishments. If I could be...
So you don't pay him either?
No.
Well, I don't think they deserve to be paid back because they're assholes to begin with. Here they upsell you to a $500 loan when you only want $100. You ask for $100 and they say, no, I'm sorry, the minimum's $300. So just go ahead and take the $300. That's what they tell you.
Well, exactly. I mean, if I want $20, give me $20.
That's right. And then they say...
I'll pay you back $15 next week.
And then they say, well, come back next payday, and if you can't pay it, just pay like $35 additional dollars, but you still owe $535, which didn't make any sense. I think that's how it is, isn't it?
It's something outrageous like that. I don't know if your numbers were exactly the way they are, but they're numbers that are not far out of reach of what they're charging. And I don't know exactly where I heard it, but I know that the financial institutions in our country are appalled by being in the same category right now. That's the way they're linked. A payday loan place is grouped up in the same type of establishment as your banking institutions, credit unions, USA Bank or U.S. Bank, and not Bank One anymore, but any of these establishments. They're appalled that they're sort of categorized in the same genre. And I think there's soon, I hope, they're still popping them up on every corner. You can
It's
see
ridiculous.
And the thing is, it's like they're building brand new buildings. All right?
They're knocking down old buildings to put new ones up.
Yeah. What is the cost involved to knock down a building, pop up a new, brand new establishment structure so that you can put Joe Schmo's payday loan place there? This is big money, people.
Well,
Now-
I think once all the illegal immigration goes, most of those places would probably close up anyway.
Well, I think that the minorities are probably a big popular audience for these payday loan places.
Yeah, they're dumb. They don't know better.
Well, I don't think it's a matter of being dumb.
I think they're idiots. Then why are these places open like this?
Well, these establishments, whoever their audience may be, and it's a mixed audience, they are targeting, and in our state, it's different. Okay?
Hey, Patrick. This is the star of the Patrick Adams Show. Say something about payday loans.
Payday loans, man. You know, I was driving around looking at the
Did we lose you? Nah, we lost him. Yeah, he hung up on us.
All right. Well, we had,
Let's take a break.
We're going to take a break here in a second. We were trying to get Patrick Adam on the phone there. He had a comment about payday loans. But we're going to continue on this comment. Hold on, Patrick Adam is calling back.
Hey, you want to finish your comment?
Yeah, no. What I was saying was before my phone cut out is it was funny you should mention that because I was actually driving by payday loans just the other day, and I recall thinking to myself how fortunate I am that I've never had to take advantage of their plan, and also what it actually entails. I mean, do you actually I imagine you give them a portion of your money if they front you your money before you get it. And I also thought to myself, I've never lived in a state of emergency where I had to get money early, so I was just kind of very thankful for that. And also, I heard they close a lot of them down, a lot of them get robbed. So I don't think they're good for the state.
I agree. You were listening to Patrick Adam from the Patrick Adam Show. He was giving some comments and opinions on his situation, never having frequented one of these establishments. And thank God for you, Patrick, not having to do that. But
Yeah, thank you, Cameron.
My pleasure. I unfortunately I have had the opportunity to frequent these establishments and to be in their contract plans. And let me tell you, buddy, it's horrific. It is horrific. You will be sorry if you ever go in there. And we're going to go back in just a moment to payday loans. You're listening to Wavelength Radio. This is Happy Hour with Cameron Cooper. Our guest tonight, Charles Peterson of the Blu-ray Show. Please stay tuned.
You're listening to Wavelength Radio from Cool Wave Pictures. Wave Pictures. Wave Pictures.